Hey, workers of the world. I'm Karl Marx. Today, I'm going to take 10 minutes to review the front page of Hacker News for opportunities to make money. What I'm looking for are signals of demand, tips and tricks, open source code that we can build on, and if we're just lucky, we might find a $100 bill on the sidewalk. So let's go to the list. Action. Number one, I know this is about the Ladybird browser. This is an open source project. Probably can't make any money off this. Two, this is a product someone's made. GUI clients usually they sell convenience for money, so we will check that out later. Three, I'm not a practitioner of language models. Probably not useful to me, but maybe something I could harvest for Twitter. So I will then store this down here. Four, WebRTC. This is an individual's project. I have had problems with sharing files between multiple devices before, so we'll check that out. Standard cells, looking at logic gates. Number five is about CPUs. I'm not a hardware engineer, probably not useful to me. Number six, systems programming. This is something I'm interested in personally, but meetups are usually like a money loser. Like meetup.com has consistently failed to make money. So, we'll put this into like, if we have time, list. Seven, synchronization is bad for scale. It's a company I haven't heard about. This is probably in the category of tips and tricks. So we'll add that to seven. This is a job posting. Nine, virtual distributed Ethernet. This is not a company that I recognize, Virtual Square. However, whoops, the Zoom window messed up there. Internet is about, or I should say, networking is about 10% of the cost of a machine learning cluster at the moment, is what I've heard, that paying for InfiniBand adds about 10% of the price compared to using converged Ethernet. And so perhaps there's a way to profit off this, or this is a signal of demand about Ethernet solutions. We'll add that to the if we have time list. Number 10, consumer product, news. Probably can't make any money off this. 11, database product. You really can't make money with database companies. So we're just going to skip that. 12, this is probably a news story, economist.com. Yeah. 13, this is a machine learning model that's released. It has GitHub link. So because of that, perhaps there is a model that we could take from GitHub, and then we could do the work of gluing it up to a credit card processor and then collect the profit off of these researchers' work. 14 is a list of news articles, so probably not interested in that. 15 is WebAssembly sandboxing. This is not an organization's GitHub account. This is a person. So they've probably tried. They're doing something interesting. I know that QuickJS is how Figma's Figma's internal plugin system worked. Was they were afraid of giving people access to their Figma app, but they wanted to allow plugins, so they compiled a QuickJS to WebAssembly interpreter, and they would run your plugin code in the interpreter, and that would sandbox it from the page contents. And they used this plugin system. First, they made it available for free. Anyone could use plugins in their Figma, even free users. I think over several years, tens of thousands of people developed Figma plugins, a lot of them really useful. Then recently, Figma changed their pricing policy to say, oh, if you want to use any plugins, any of them, you have to pay us. And that probably drove a large, a noticeable bump in signups. So this is useful for that if you have, or if you've been thinking about monetization and you have a platform. I don't have a platform, so I'm not going to look at this. This is this intellectual curiosity category. Managing oneself. This is very old. It's from Harvard Business Review. I'm probably going to pass that up. History of liquid computers. This is probably like an intellectual curiosity thing. Probably can't make any money off that. 18 is talent searching. This could be useful. Like there's a type of Moneyball approach to developing talent or to teaching yourself. Like is there a framework you yourself could follow, even if no one's teaching you? So we're going to take a look at that. Alien life simulation at 19. Get book. I don't know. It's got a contrived an acronym. Probably not going to make money off this. 20 BeaconDB location services. So they have a domain for the project, Mozilla Location Services. I don't know what that is. I'm assuming this is similar to like Google Location Services in smartphones. So maybe this is interesting because Google extracts money from the Play Store and they bundle location services. And Neuronimize Lean Crew. Never heard of them before. This is probably some type of like pseudo-anonymous or machine learning with anonymous data. Python with braces. This is a project by, it looks like an individual. Math ELO, doesn't sound like a company. It's got a large amount of comments for a project. Like usually you show someone's project and you get 10 people to respond. So this is likely something interesting. Then image prompt. This is also someone's project, but there's been no discussion of it. So maybe not that interesting, or maybe this is pretty derivative. We're going to skip that. 24 is embeds are heavy and fixable. This is a surprising thing. I mean, Google has all the time and money in the world to optimize things. So the idea that they've missed a step, and even if they haven't, or even if the information is very niche, it's probably we can learn something from performance engineering. So I'm personally interested in this. Maybe there is something we can add to the checklist. A lot of people use YouTube embeds, so the impact would be high, even if it sounds like the chance of paying off is low. The internet's over. This is probably not going to lead us to make money. 18th century, this is like too far in the past to make money. 26, 27, MailChimp to email alternative. I'm not sure. This is an individual project, not a company. I've never heard of this. I think RSS is dead. So we're going to skip that. Copper to convert. Oh, this is physical science. This hard stuff. Like it happens in the real world. Not useful to our purposes. Wordsmith, motion picture. This is a historical, fact article. And then Chinese aircraft carrier 30 is also a news article. Okay, so we've triaged everything. Now let's jump in and look at the individual, posts we've identified. The first one was this Jupyter client. The Jupyter's a notebook, and they've created a Mac app. It says download the alpha. What I noticed first of all was that the domain, I can't zoom in the UI there. This is not like a blog post. It's a standalone product domain. Maybe a signal someone trying to monetize it. Let's see. I don't see anything about money. It's a bunch of screenshots, nice screenshots. I remember there's a tool going around that produces these attractive looking screenshots. So this is another vote to, like revisit the tool. Come on. If we're making products for this seems to be table stakes. This is kind of my impression filtering out. And then let's go to the project. So we're reading about it. Someone just worked as a scientist. So that's indicative of they had this insight about the problem domain because they are a coder second. And let's see, built with Electron. They have OpenAI integration. Let's see, so this is a front-end web app. So they're able to leverage a lot of stuff. So they should be able to move pretty quickly. They say they're going to try to monetize it. It's free right now. Let's see. I guess the first thing we're going to do is check the number of comments. Since this is posted by the author, one signal of demand is people will ask the author questions, and then we'll see how many the author will usually try to respond or answer them. So here we have 20 matches for the author's name in this. We have 152 comments. This indicates that they have quite a lot of interest from people. Here we are. So this is one person asking for functionality. So they've already accepted the premise. They're like, oh, this premise is great, and I want more, which is a good sign for commercialization. So feature request, literally they say feature request. So we've got 3 in a row right on the top. So it looks like a lot of people saying nice, and feature request for graphics, feature request for remote server. Let's see, feature request. Now this is someone complaining about it. Um, what's this? Feature request. Yeah. All right. So it seems like this guy's tapped a a vein of demand, and so I didn't know this before. People want, a nicer way to interact with Jupyter. I thought the web browser thing worked pretty well. So this indicates there's demand. Like he's got other integrations. So the question would be, do people using it, need to understand like next step, question like, do people like it because of the appearance, how it runs, or the OpenAI integration plus other features. Is the web app the because there is an existing open source web app, and so is this something that because he's going to run with and add a bunch of convenience nice to have features, kind of like, oh, he's going to be selling convenience and he's going to go through and add 50 nice to have features that each have a small subset of people, and he's going to collect enough people paying for it. It won't cost a lot to be like, yeah, if you're doing this professionally, it just makes sense to buy it. And then let's see. And also let's see if he talks about monetizing it. I'm going to search for the dollar sign. Sometimes people will say like, oh, $20 or $100. Let's see what this person's saying. This is someone else, and they're talking about they've done their own open source project. So let's see what this is. Then he's selling 60 copies a month for $5. So that's about $1,200 a month. So uh, if my math is not mistaken, yeah, 5 times 6, 30. Oh, yeah, never do math in a video equals 300. Off by factor of 4. $300 a month for a video app. This is something I've wanted. I thought this was answered by Plex or Jelly Roll, or like there's a couple of competitors. It's like, oh, media management app. And he's suggesting that over the last 4 years, he's been making, there's a dribble of sales coming in. Let's see. And he says it's open source. So perhaps we could take his code and, God, it looks like from a different era. So he's just milking it, it seems. Um, let's see. So that possibly we could try distributing it. So like so like the question is like how does he market this? Because the marketing could be great and $300 a month is the most you could do, or the marketing could be terrible, uh, and you could drive a lot more revenue to it. And possibly, if you can drive revenue to it, you could have an affiliate program, or you could wrap his software. You could distribute and do a different version yourself, or you could strip out features from a more complicated one and sell that, because it literally looks kind of simple, like import of directory, download, free $5, free updates for a year, so it's $5 a year. So it's not just this, like this is ARR, $300 of ARR being added on. Okay, so that's interesting. That's kind of a free bonus one. And then other, is there anything else we can mine from the comments of this app? Probably just move on to the next one. This is the file sharing application, AirDrop. It appears the newest commit was 2 years ago using Node.js 14. That's wildly obsolete. So it's unlikely they're making any money off this. Is there a demo? Yes, there's a demo. Let's see. Oh, okay, okay. I've seen this, not this app before, but I've seen many copies. They all have this radar looking bottom section, as you can see it. Yeah, there's no edge here. There's no money to be made. So now we're on to the machine learning paper that we found. Live portrait. What are they doing here? All right. They got a cool video of famous paintings acting like real people. All right. PyTorch implementation. Good. So it's not some niche thing like Jax. It's you can straight up run this. You've got the weights, and then let's see, like inference. What does this do? Okay, so we've got a driving video, an input image, and the generated result. Oh, this is interesting. So, I mean, first of all, super interesting like application. And what I'm thinking is most people, most entrepreneurs, when they look at this, they're going to say, okay, I'm going to use this for, how do I say this? Like, I'm going to let people upload a video of themselves. Then they'll upload like a model or a cartoon, a target photo, and then I'll produce the target cartoon. I'm thinking the opposite. See, the problem I have when taking pictures is that I am not good. I'm not aware of my body. I'm not aware of how I look to the camera. So I don't present myself in a favorable way for the camera at all. And I know other people do. Other people, I ask them to take pictures, and they just start kind of moving, like they start really adjusting, like they'll look, and then as I'm looking at my camera, like, wow, every single one of these is a great pose. It's a new facet, but when I get in front of the camera, I can't really do it. So I've seen marketing for AI photo shoots where they're telling people, oh, upload pictures of yourself, and then you can run a photo shoot on an AI model. And so some have been heavily, relying on, less technical audience or selling to them saying like, oh, like we're going to create an AI model of you. And then what that's going to do, then you can pose it to whoever you want. And what's actually happening is they're pre-training Stable Diffusion on some set of images, and then you type in the prompt and it just generates. But there's no actual like 3D rigged model of you being restyled, or it's not precise. Like you get pictures of you with like various warped interpretations, or your head's a different size. Like it's not optimal. It's not what I imagined. But this could do what I imagined, because I could have a video of a real model who's good at taking pictures, right? So that they know how to pose, they know how to puppet their face into, like an attractive motion, like how much smiling is too much smiling. Then I upload my photo, and then I watch the video, and I can scrub through frame by frame and find a good picture. So it's literally a photo shoot of me, but the AI is making me look the best I can. So that's kind of the opposite direction. We're swapping the inputs, and so that's an opportunity, because it's going to take people a couple weeks to catch up with us if we start doing this. Everyone else is going to be going off in like one branch. We're going to take the other fork in the road. So this is exciting. All right, so I was so excited I didn't even write anything down. So rank 13, we could offer AI photo shoot where model video puppets photo of you. And the nice thing about this is, instead of having this weird AI quality, it looks like the fidelity of the output image is great. So because we're embodied in the scene and we're just puppeting our face, we're just adjusting. Like it's the adjustments that are the crazy hard part. And this is what letting you do the adjustments. So like if you were doing control net, you say like, oh, generate me an image, and then I have to draw a stick figure to say like, oh, this is how the model's going to pose. Doesn't help me because I don't know how to pose. I don't know what's going to look good in 3D. I don't know how to translate 3D. I'm not an artist. Whereas this neatly solves that problem. I can glue together someone who knows what they're doing, take advantage of someone's modeling expertise, and apply it to me, or my loved ones, or my dog, that kind of thing. Neat. They also have a Gradio interface. You can even try this. You can prototype this experience kind of like now over text message. So this is exciting. I'll write this up later. And then let's go look at the comments. See 25 comments. Wow, fast generation speed. Milliseconds on a consumer GPU. That's pretty sick. Uh, like that means the cost of this is going to be low and we can get quick. So I know that AI photo shoots, often they say like, oh, you upload your 20 pictures, then wait 20 minutes, then come back to the photo shoot. That's got to hurt conversion. Whereas this, they can see it instantly. Like the time to value is much lower, and so the conversion rate is going to be higher. What's wild to me, the meta commentaries, 25 comments on this, 150 comments on this, like 6 times more interest in an attractive GUI interface versus something, in my opinion, much more impactful, like much more interesting than, let's see, people complaining about the video format, the usual comments saying it's amazing, then people saying, this is people saying the traditional path. They're saying like, oh, we're going to allow an actor to animate a cartoon. Like you have this fantasy element and you want to make it look like something. Whereas we're going to say we have a real element, we're going to make it look real. Generalizing it to people tried it on animal, it doesn't work. People are trying it out. Neat. All right, so we're moving on. Talent search. I was hoping this was going to be like a Moneyball thing. Let's see what it is. First, we're going to look at the length. This is 3 pages long. So that's not a good sign. Unlikely to be like a detailed framework. Then we're saying mathematical competitions. Okay, that's quite narrow. 3 pages long. IMO, Math Olympiad. This is describing a talent feeder So maybe, because math is something that benefits from practice, but it's not intuitively obvious how to improve. Let's see. This is, he invited people based on like scores to problems. Let's see, what did he do? So he basically encouraged people to keep working. If they didn't meet the cutoff for the competition, he's like, oh, but you still showed more interest than other people, so I'm going to encourage you. That's a neat trick. And then he's commenting about, this math competition, is interest is declining. Let's see what the comments say. 52 comments. Yeah. Let's see. People complaining. They're saying their own thing, saying that they were unable to develop talent. A lot of comments. Child of this. Then, your typical 10x development argument. We're going to skip that. That's not going to make us any money. Someone saying talent development is still valuable. Do they have they're making a claim? Do they have concrete examples? Because everyone can talk and repeat, the common wisdom they've heard, but I'm looking for hard data. So he says no. He has made the first hire as a startup, and then recently he doesn't have enough data to see if it paid off or not. So it's just confirmation bias, and plenty of people are good enough. So it's not rigorous. Intent. Cut off for an opportunity. So this is saying the same thing as the article. This is saying that there are people just below the cutoff. It's interesting to look at just below the cutoff. If you're someone else has created a ranking system and they have no use for people below a cutoff, as in they only have the capability to absorb the top X%. Like, YC says, like, we can only do so many companies. Our process doesn't scale. And, there is a trade-off down the curve, and we've picked the point where we're comfortable. Right on the other side of that curve, like, how do you know you have the exact right trade-off position? Like, there's probably a little bit of error bounds. Like, your richest, most fruitful opportunity is going to be people like just under it. So, like, this guy writing emails, like, this is saying, like, okay, if you knew who YC is in the top 10%, then, you should target those people. Or, for example, if you had a developers at work and you could figure out who was denied a promotion but was like close, for example, then if you mentored those developers because they're closer, like if they're level 4 and you're a level 5, you're trying to mentor level 4s as part of your career advancement. Finding the level 4s who are like already almost level 5s but like just missed it, then you would have a nonlinear payoff. If you mentor them next cycle, they just need a little bit of adjustment to get over. You get to take credit for like, oh, they went from level 4 to level 5 by my mentorship. So, this is a good idea or a good thing to remember that I didn't think of. And what rank was this? Talent development, 18, right? 18. Today I learned the idea that like look for talent, searches, systems, then, you know, just shy of the cutoff. And then this is just like idea, maybe you can apply this at work, to get yourself the payoff. All right, moving on to the Beacon database. Cool website. The font is an accessible contrast. Side note. Wireless geolocation database. Okay, like this is not anything what I thought it was. This is, let's see, what are they doing? They have an app. Yeah, this is not useful to us at all. There's no way I can make money off this as an individual. All right, moving on to the next one. I think this is number 22. Python with braces. So this is a one developer. Oh, every commit 6 years ago. So this is dead project. So what we see is what we're going to get. There's no changes coming, no interaction with the audience probably. And also he didn't post it. Someone else found it a long time ago. So I guess note. Well, a lot of people found it. 1.6 thousand people have seen it. So I wonder how many times it's been submitted. Let's see. Does it do anything interesting? And parses Python. This developer has, unusually for most, he has a clear README, describes what it is, table of contents. So this is already, so this is like a clear example. Okay, sorry, this is a good example of a good README. So we should see about adding this to our checklist for making good README or documenting our project. Check out his organization. So that's one way we can extract value from this, is to go analyze the structure. And it seems to have paid off. Like usually projects with lots of stars from people are at least easy to understand. They get the idea and they're interested. Then let's see. So solo developer, let's kind of see what else he's been up to. 6 years is a long time. See if he's changed anything. Let's see. Steady work. It says he's in Norway. Okay, that probably explains these like large gaps. Good old European vacation time. It looks like he's on vacation right now. That could be useful. And software engineer at Cognite. Never heard of that. So let's see what that is. A plant operations. Looks like chemical plants, heat exchangers. Yeah, that's a chemical plant. And you've got some sort of tool. They've resold a whiteboarding tool, it seems. Who knows? Like this is economic impact of millions of dollars. Yeah, so this is a business that probably has they're like 8 years old. So they're relatively new, but they're probably well established in their industry at the moment. And they're probably doing, between 10 and $100 million revenue, if not more. I mean, I probably saying less because chemical plants probably have smaller margins being in real life. And then, how many chemical plants could there be? Application developer. So maybe there's opportunity for more edge because they're not just selling. They're selling model. They've got this AI thing. So they've added a Lang chain. Okay, so another company. Let's see. AI. Someone else has another Node-RED. So this is a not directly monetizable with. This is just kind of like hindsight is 2020, where companies, even in the field of chemical engineering, it seems, uh, could have used a library. So if you had packaged a Node-RED style AI workflow tool like they've got here in this example screenshot, maybe you could have sold it to them. So like if you were thinking, what's my addressable market? You're like, like web companies. You're just like, I'm not going to build it. Well, if you thought, oh, everyone's going to need AI, so if you could go and sell it to basically everyone's industrial, or sorry, everyone's web app, every industry, it's a larger addressable market. So you should have done it. Let's see. So what else has he done recently? Yeah, I'm spending more time looking at individual developer because that's the scale which we operate. Like the way that the opportunities that are most impactful to me personally are not industry changes, but they're going to be meeting someone specifically that I gel with or like work well, have similar interests. Like something happens. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm spending way more time on just looking at this guy. He's got a blog, trying to understand his activity. Let's see, 2023, 2023, 2021, 21, 21, 21, 21. This looks like a all in 1 week period. It's probably one of his vacations. He's probably spent at Cognite for a while. And nothing really interesting that I see. These look like projects he's taken for personal gratification. Let's go check out his blog. 2 months, no updates. Then, so his README standards did not transfer to this personal project. So that's interesting. So that's a opportunity for value. Is if we wanted to connect with this guy, we could, PR his using his template. Neat. And let's see, reading his blog. It's empty. Says he's a student. Probably when he started. Yeah, so like this could be someone to connect with. See, he's got his email. Yeah, he's got an email down here. So like, and he's got a blog. So the value is we could offer is it is encouragement. He obviously like values the blog post. Let's see. Oh, I'm going to go back and look at his. When did he create this blog post? Um, 2 months ago, March 29th or May 29th. Was he doing anything? Yeah, it sounds like the middle of the work week. So, but he still looks like he's still employed by Cognite because he's actively. This is most of what he's doing. Okay, so maybe we can reach out. Maybe we have interests. He's in Python. Python's very hot right now. Let's go read the comments. 328 comments. Massive amount of engagement. Double this. People are very interested in this idea. I guess that makes sense with the 1,200 stars. I'm curious, is there a relationship between stars and comments? Probably there's some loose one or there's some hidden variables. Let's see, is there anyone 135 under that? People discussing indentation. Pure programming languages, that's probably, or this tends to be too, like, how do I say this? Non-business focused. Like people are not going to be leaking the secrets. There's not going to be business value in the comments here on a programming language because this is kind of something broad. Everyone has opinions. We're just chatting. We're hanging out. This is shop talk. This is not going to be, some sort of super detailed problem description or understanding we're going to game this. So I'm going to skip over this. Next, we're looking at YouTube embeds are heavy. We have a TLDR at top, so that's good. So one of the things I like to, I think this is number 24. One of the things I like to do, like looking for value, is when you read someone's blog post, can it be improved? You can email them with suggestions. This says that you should switch. So this is a concrete recommendation, and there is no data here. So I would like to see some data. So we'll see if he collects data. And let's see, YouTube, any website. I see. So he makes a good argument. He's like, okay, like add loading lazy. So for example, this is a checklist item. So even YouTube does not have this. It probably, if I had to guess, they're optimizing for the case people copying and pasting. They can't add loading lazy on everything. I'm not sure if that's true. Like if you have loading lazy and the browser sees it in the viewport, it's like, I'll fetch it anyway. Um, then what's the inline styles aspect? So it says add this to the. I don't know how much what the impact of this is. Then he's saying he made a test. This is a good idea. So checklist is like a performance checklist item. Like try only X, blank page, only do one thing, and see if anything jumps out. Because it clearly did for him. And maybe the search was more efficient because probably what happened was he's loading a page with YouTube on it, notices it's slow, then follows some breadcrumbs. But I wonder if you could like randomly test everything, you know, randomly grab things in isolation and then measure like how slow is it, and then look at the outliers. Perhaps there's an automated way. Yeah, perhaps there's an automated way of doing performance analysis for web apps. Like oh, I'm not going to load this chunk of JavaScript or this like this. Like I'm gonna have a shopping website. I'm gonna render a version of the site with just the navigation links, but no carousel, and then just the product grid. Or I'm gonna like maybe space it appropriately to control variables. Not sure. I wonder what people have tried. Because sorry, e-commerce is where you have a payback for this type of like research work because it pays to render the page quickly and to present information in the format people like. And so that usually requires JavaScript, like you're dynamically filtering things. And so I wonder what experiments with load time and various components composed on the page. Maybe there's an opportunity there if they're not doing it, or we learn something we can apply to a different industry. The jumping off point, 2.6 page, 1.3 megabytes. That's a lot of data to load a YouTube embed that you're not playing, and then it's not shared. Interesting. So they're going to describe, that's a good problem description. Could be edited slightly to improve it. Then we're going to see, I'm reading the explanation of what's going on. They have a poster, so you need to load the image. There's a title and a play button. You don't need 1.3 megabytes. I agree with that. Okay, this is surprising. So someone says that they've made a lighter form of the embed and it reduces engagement. My immediate question is this Google? Like you're saying little birdie? Like, did Google test this? Or did someone else, like someone using running it up the pole suggests that it's large. Like you're not gonna say I ran up the pole to like Mark, who's a startup founder. You're just gonna say I talked to Mark, or like I don't know. So this is such a surprising thing. Like lighter embeds loading faster. So they say they're gonna test it. They bring up the famous story about user like load times went up because more people were using it. So you had a relative improvement for each individual user, but your distribution changed. Is that something you have to look out for when you're running a test? The underlying distribution changing. A megabyte. Let's see. So there's an open source project to do this. Google's so an engineer high up at Google did this. Let's see. Custom element looks exactly the same. It appears visually the same. Let's see. Wild. Extension of the web component. So this demo could be improved. So like value is the demo. If the demo told me, oh, it works, uh, it's faster to load, for example. Like I just see the same YouTube embed, so it doesn't really demonstrate. So if I wanted to, connect with the author, how would I offer value? I would offer him a suggestion. Let's see. So this guy, what's interesting is I've never seen this website before. Like most websites, he's got already some call to action. So this is already a pretty good uh, developed website in terms of personal blog. Like this one's probably extracting money out of this. So learning, like add a short quiz. Let's see, best learning path. Not sure if they're selling something, but probably are. Then what's the author, the web designer, and he's the co-founder of CodePen. I see. So someone who's making money, a substantial amount of money, a successful business, and then has a podcast. All right, so maybe there's an opportunity here. So I did not see any concrete numbers in this post. Let's see what the Hacker News comments have to say, and then we'll circle back to this. That's such a surprise. That's so surprising. Like I would not expect someone at YouTube to be like, "Oh yeah, like we want to send 1.3 megabytes of JavaScript or whatever it is." Like if they can do it with less JavaScript, they can just send like dummy data. Like what? Interesting. Proxy thumbnails. Yeah, I've seen this. A lot of people are interested in this. Interesting. So someone claims that it's slower. Here's the demo. Oh yeah, that is slower. Holy cow. Yeah, like there's a little loading thing where you think it's broken. Usually I'm used to like clicking and it starts instantaneously. Like maybe interesting. And this is this guy's project, right? Yeah, this is the demo project of this web component. Super faster, uses less resources. So there's concrete data, so like, value, offer, edit to blog posts. You're doing one of my favorite algorithms is a union find algorithm, where every time you find an element and you walk the parent pointer chain, you update every element to have to share the same to point to the same parent, so that every time you search, you kind of make the search data structure more efficient. And I believe it's fair to do that, or in interest of time, it's better to do that with summarizing. You should take the data from the low level source and move it up to your top level article, rather than saying like, oh, you can find out more yourself, link, 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 all the way down. Personal preference. Then, all right, interesting. So like, I experienced it. I wonder what the difference is. The page may load quicker. I wonder if there's some way to work around this. So like, I have a question. Is there some way to that like loading spinner? Like, can I trigger it to start loading the data or like prefetching it, once it's visible on the page? Because it was there on the page. It took me seconds to like, click on it. Why was there a delay? That's insane. Let's see. People trying it. There's another thing. It doesn't even have the link. I do like the link to YouTube on it, like the watch on YouTube button. Yeah, I do this watch on YouTube on the bottom right. But that's easily fixable, right? Like the link URL, I assume. No, you know the link URL. You put the embed in there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. GitHub guests syntax. Yeah, that's something I've found odd is using the running the syntax highlighting at runtime. Let's see, blocking the ads. Oh, that's a clever thing. Let's see. Today I learned. Neat. So this is like a tip and trick. And let me just link to that. It's also something we can add to our checklist of audits is see if we need all the resources it loads. Like if it works without it, we can just disable it in our iframe, faster loading, faster execution. Let's see. Yeah, this is YouTube story. Bring it up again. Click to load embeds. Some people are rewriting it to a link. Yeah, so the reason why I'm focused so much on this is that I know that a lot of companies have product videos above the fold, showing how their product works. So the idea that you could improve the performance, might have a real impact for a couple hundred companies around in the area. And so you could go, I can't see how you would make any money off of this fact, but if you were looking to provide value, you were trying to make a connection with someone, maybe this could be the value you provide is improving their homepage performance. And that's what gets your cold email to open. All right. Interesting. All right, that's the end of what we are. We've gone way over time, 45 minutes out of the quoted 10. But hey, that's developers quoting time estimates to you. In summary, the most interesting thing we found was the AI live portrait because you could probably, this seemed the closest to shipping a product to end users because there's many AI photo shoot apps. This is a clear differentiating factor. It's easy to communicate the improvement in a single animation on your homepage, and so you could probably get sales. Then 18 was something like long term or a tactic that you could use. Probably rank 2. There's a video app people are paying $300 a month, just inbound. So the idea is, what marketing does this have, and how saturated or how good? I'm guessing developers like the marketing's like 1% of what it could be. So maybe you could push this to $3,000 a month and split it with the author of the app 70-30. So that you're bringing in $3,000 and then you get $1,000 of that for your marketing skills. He gets the other $2,000, and that might be a couple of days worth of work, marketing work. Not bad for something that pays off in perpetuity. Then we found some checklist tools. We found someone we can email. So in terms of reaching out, building connection with other people, we have this the Python Braces Python guy, and then we have the author of this blog post. We probably need to offer a lot more value to this guy just because he's busier, and I think that about covers it. Then we had a bunch of interesting stuff, something we might put on Twitter. We're not going to cover it, obviously. You can't spend all day. If you like this content, you got to remember to like and subscribe. And remember, because I have 0 subscribers, I will know if you don't. I'll know if you watch the video and don't subscribe. It's very detectable. Anyway, Viva la Glorious People's Revolution. I'll catch you in the next one.